All right, folks. We are live on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Telegram. So let's begin. We have a very special show for you tonight. Now, um, earlier I was thinking we should do this once a month. I was thinking we could have this kind of a show where we have our viewers call in and share their stories of the unexplained, paranormal, et cetera, on our show. So I thought that would be a good idea. And since it's the last Wednesday of the month, and Wednesdays when we do the Fringe Division podcast, we decided that we're going to do this every month, once a month. Yeah, that way we can give our viewers a chance to interact, call in on our call in line, and basically share their stories on the air, and become part of the discussion. So I think that would be fun for our viewers and everything. So we're going to do that from now on. So that's why we're running a little late, and we want to do it at a later time than the 2 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. The time we normally have for Fringe Division, because we're going to be talking about you guys are going to be calling in with your own stories, ghosts, UFOs, you name it. At nighttime, it's better for the spooky factor and, just that more intense. What is that kind of a feeling, So we're going to do it at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard on the last Wednesday of each month, 11 o'clock Central, and then midnight Eastern. So that's our lineup for the last Wednesday of every month for Fringe Division. So with that being said, let's begin and let's segue into our intro. So don't forget to subscribe, follow our pages, and as well as subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch. Follow our Facebook pages, of course, and also like them if you want. But follow them if you want to get notifications. Check out our bonfire stores, bonfire.com/fu-family-port, and then bonfire.com/store/just-teed. You can check out you can get all this merchandise that you see here, and all the money made from that goes to the CPS and Family Court Corruption Victims Fund only. We do not profit from this work at all. That being said, everything we present here is covered under fair use. So we shall begin. And let's begin. So you can call in on our call-in line to tell your story if you're one of our viewers. Paranormal story call-in line. This covers everything from ghost experiences to UFO sightings to NDEs, pretty much anything and everything that doesn't add up or make sense as far as your own personal experiences go is game. So that means higher consciousness, dreams, weird dreams that might be connected to stuff in your daily life, whatever. So we're covering all of that. It's basically a catch-all story night line where we have people calling, and we're going to share with you some of our own stories. Myself and Jen, of course, is going to share her own personal experiences as well. I have a few with experiencing some ghosts, as well as a few UFO sightings myself, and Jen's got something else I think for us with regarding what she's experienced. So this should be an interesting show, and we invite our viewers to call in and tell us their stories. And the number is on the screen, so you can call at any time. We will get it. It's through Google Voice, so all you have to do is call. It will ring on my end, and I'll answer and put you on the air. So let's begin. This should be a fun show. All right, let me make sure everything's up on the app and everything. So all right, so let's see. I would like to start with my first experience. I'm going to start off with my ghost story, my first ghost story, which dates back to about 20 years ago. I was living at an apartment complex called Cottonwood Creek here in where I live, and my roommate and I were both splitting the rent, but he was from Alaska anyway. But long story short, I just got in the shower one morning, was getting out, walking out the shower, go to my room. My room is like right across from the bathroom, parallel. You have the bathroom door like right here, or from your perspective, so right here, and then my bedroom door right here. So right in the hallways in between. So I'm walking out the bathroom door, have my clothes over my shoulder, my towel around my waist, and out of my peripheral vision, I swear to God, I saw like three what looked like kittens run right past me, right in front of the bathroom door in the hallway. At first I was like, well, I must be tripping, but I told my roommate, and he told me that a few days prior he had woke up after having had party the night before, with his family and everything. But he woke up, looked to his right because he was passed out in the living room, and said he saw three kittens, right, playing or rolling, playing with each other in the living room. And he went and put his head back down and then looked again, and they were gone. Okay. That's his experience. Now, that he told me when I had seen them in the hallway when I was coming out of the bathroom. So, fast forward about 2 years, 2 or 3 years, right? I'm in the car with my mom, and we're just talking about ghost stories, weird stuff like that. And she tells me that when she was after we moved out of the apartments, we had those sightings of the ghost kittens that we she was just cleaning up the last of the stuff, trying to get it in order for when we're finally done. So we had already got our stuff out, but we always try to keep our apartments like that, in tip top shape, so that we don't have to do minimal. Well, sometimes for the deposit, other times to avoid, having to do that. The managers having to do too much work cleaning it up for the next tenants. It's always good to have that in your repertoire, so to speak. So she tells me that when she was cleaning up the apartment, she saw three kittens playing. And it was the weirdest thing because it wasn't until 2 years after the fact that I had seen it, the ghost kittens, and then my roommate, that my mom had told me about her experience, which was like within mere probably like 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a month, or maybe 2 months after we had that experience, that she had hers. But I didn't find this out till years later. So that's my first ghost story. So I wanted to start off with that because that's kind of like one of the first ones I had. But what do you got for us, Jen? And then after you see your story, I'll share my second ghost story and a couple more.
Okay. Let me turn my camera on here. Oops. I think it's on. Nope. Okay. Hold on. Let me turn it around. Where it started. Just a sec. Okay. 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 All right. Oh my gosh. Sorry, the light went out. I was trying to get the full effect. Not quite in the dark though, but hey, maybe it goes with the show, right? Okay. So
sorry about that, folks. I lost my camera there for a second.
No, it was
Go ahead.
me. It was me. My light went out because it's automatic.
And no. I was talking about on my end because I was trying to adjust my camera and it fell off the stand. I was moving the thing it was on.
I'm like,
go ahead.
That was me. It was okay.
No, that was me. Well, on my end. Anyway,
I have a story when I was 12 and I was having a slumber party, and we decided to go on the Ouija board. Okay. And we were getting this, going through it, and it was saying different things. And then I said, "Can you please show us that you're here?" And it shined this really bright green fluorescent light through the window and scared us. I mean, we screamed. We were so scared. And it was like I sensed this presence. So I'm like, gosh, what was that? I have never seen anything again like that ever before. I mean, again, ever. And then, in the same year, we did the light as a feather, stiff as a board thing, and then you could like raise.
Yeah, I remember that from back in the day. Yeah. All the chicks would try and do that one.
Yeah. And I did it at a birthday party, and she rose up. I was like, oh my God. She didn't remember anything. She just remembered kind of like, she was in a dream state. And right. It was just something like very interesting. And that's about it for that first one. And so
if any of our viewers want to call in and tell their stories, they're welcome to do so. We have a call in line tonight. We're going to do this we're going to do a call in show the last Wednesday of every month for our Fringe Division podcast, so that our viewers can have a chance to call in and share their stories. So feel free to call in and share your story. The call in line is 702-518-2469. Again, that is 702-518-2469. We will be doing and fielding calls throughout the rest of this broadcast. So if you want to tell your story, call in and we'll air it on the show live. All right. That being said, go ahead, continue, Jen, what you were saying. Okay. I just wanted to remind our viewers that we're doing a call online.
Okay. And also it helps like become part of the collective. So we'll remember stuff that we've
Right.
maybe seen before, and it'll start bringing it to light. And oh, I remember that. And it builds it up. We remind each other. And it's just something that we can't share with everybody, because,
Right.
until, um,
You can't exactly share some of this stuff with the normies, you
yes,
know?
you can't. And you got to find like minded people. So, I mean, it's best to do that. I mean, it's going to get out, like, and more people might be more open to share their experience. Um, and I
Right. I
remember
mean, we're steadily heading in
watching,
that direction for sure, I think.
yeah,
Go ahead.
right. I think that, or I remember E.T. was my favorite movie. Okay. And I remember I thought I was trying to get myself to see him go across in the moon. I think I did. I don't know if it's my mind thinking that or, but I don't know. I thought it was. So, um, so ghosts, not really. I mean, I haven't seen anything, but I do feel things like they're behind me or they touch my shoulder. I had one make contact with me when I was in the shower. It was just the oddest thing in the world. I mean, once I got in, and I started washing my hair, and I turned around to rinse it, and I felt somebody touch like my lower back. And this is the second time, and it was like 2 nights ago. So, and that was the same time that you had your experience. So it's
When?
just really,
How long ago was this?
this was the same night that you had your experience, the last experience that you
Oh,
had.
the newest one that I had
Yes.
the other night. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
okay. So yeah,
Yep.
okay, perfect. So let me segue into that then, because that was
Okay. So
going to be the next one. That,
I'm gonna close my camera so I can hear you. So I
yeah,
don't. There's no.
go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so I'm going to segue into my second ghost story, folks. And when this one happened, what was it? It wasn't it the day before yesterday, wasn't it?
yes, yeah, and because I
Okay,
remember I said, "Oh my
yeah.
God, I had one," and I felt like something was on my like touched
Okay,
my
so
lower back.
for context, folks, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bad Wolves cover of Zombie, right? That they did back in 2018. Well, I was listening to that, followed by the Cranberries' original version of Zombie, because like one of my I like to do the reboots and stuff and the recovers back to back to compare. But anyways, long story short, I was middle or about halfway through the original version of Zombie by the Cranberries, right? Now, mind you, my bedroom door is shut. I always shut it when I'm working, and I don't ever leave it open to mitigate background noise when I'm trying to work and focus. So I mean, it's always shut, and it's not one of those doors that's prone to opening by itself either. Now, it's never done this before, but and I know for a fact it was shut. But halfway through this song, I hear the door click, like the latch click, as if like somebody opened it, and it's opening, and the door slowly opens about three-quarters of the way full that it could possibly open and stops. Now I'm thinking that it's my sister or and her kids coming over and because my nephews and nieces are the only ones that open the door without knocking, which is fine. So I'm just thinking it's them wanting to say hi, and I go and I look, go out and peek out the hall into the hall. I look right, I look left, nobody there. I go down into the living room and look to see maybe somebody's in the kitchen, and they were just there, just decided to go come back. Nope, nobody was there. My mom's in her bed. I said, "Mom, is anybody here?" She said, "No, nobody's here at all." I'm like, "Oh, weird." So my door opened all by itself the day before yesterday, which is creepy in and of itself. Yeah, so that was my experience there. I still haven't been able to explain it, and it really tripped me up because I've never had such an obvious, undeniable, weird experience like that you can't really rationally explain. That's probably the most intense one that I've had as far as ghosts or paranormal goes, besides
Okay.
UFOs. Go ahead.
Okay.
Your turn,
Okay.
Jen.
The other day, when I was walking out
Come
of
on
Kroger.
camera for our viewers, please.
Okay. All right. And I might even show my screen. Hold on a second. Okay. So I was walking out of Kroger, right? And I have to unlock my phone, right? I picked it up and the number 666 came across. I did not touch anything, nothing. I was like, what is this? I didn't touch it. I took a screenshot. It was the weirdest thing. Like I didn't unlock my phone and I did not put the numbers in. I just reached in and grabbed it. I looked and I'm like, what the? Because I heard it. my voicemail thing go off telling me to put my password in. Like, what? You know? And I grabbed it out, I looked, and 666 was on there. I was like, what does this mean? I said, I'm taking a screenshot because nobody's going to believe me. um, it was odd.
You want to go
Really
ahead and share
odd.
that for our viewers?
Yeah, hold on.
You can
I'll go
screen
get it.
share it when
Yeah.
you're ready.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to just close the camera for just a second and I'll go find it.
Sounds good.
Going into my gallery, and here's my screenshot right here. There it is right there. Did not touch anything. I went to grab it out of my pocket because I heard my voicemail say I need to enter my passcode. Right here, I did not touch it. Why?
Wow.
I can't explain it. I cannot explain it at all. It kind
That
of
is
was
odd.
like, what's going on? And
was your screen lock on? Was your screen lock on when you had it in your pocket and then you took it out and then that was on the screen?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, but I heard my voicemail say, please enter your. I didn't touch it. I was carrying a couple bags of groceries out, so there's no way it was in my pocket, so I didn't even touch it. Yeah, so I was kind of a little bit freaked out about it. Like not really. Well, I guess not freaked out, but wondering what happened. That's the first time that's ever happened. Yeah. So that's all I have for that one. So
oh wow, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, what are the odds of that?
Right. What are the odds? That's like almost damn near impossible. The odds of that.
There's no way that it could have unlocked itself. I have to put a code in to unlock and open my phone. So
right. Like
okay,
a screen pattern or a lock pattern too, or a pin or whatever. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. So that was just I don't know how that happened. And for me to grab it and then to hit this number 6, I don't see how I could have done it 3 times, but I don't think I did it. So yeah, that's
yeah, it doesn't make sense. If you had to unlock it and put in the code before you saw that, then that doesn't make any sense.
And I mean, and there's no way I cross over a 6 when I put my code in. So just saying, that's another factor. Yeah, I don't know what did or who did, but something was checking my mail for me and it put that code in. So that's not my code.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a UFO story to share that happened when I was a kid. So let me share that because I thought that was fascinating. Okay, so like when I was a kid, right, I used to live in this little housing complex, in Green Valley, suburb of Las Vegas, more toward the south, up to the outskirts of town, and it's more like nicer neighborhoods. More middle class people that live there. Mostly houses, good schools. It's one of the better parts of town. Long story short, I'm playing in the cul-de-sac with where my friends are at, like just down the street from me, and we're playing outside football and shit. And we're looking up in the sky and we're seeing this crowd, something like it was like a light, but it was like a kind of like almost neon green, but not quite neon. It was like maybe off neon, like maybe more of a darker, like sub green or whatever. Like, and anyways, it wasn't neon. It was still like kind of that shade of green, but it was not as bright as a neon would be, but more or less. And it was going. And we seen it, and it went literally across the screen, was making 90-degree turns on a dime, and it literally freaking must have covered, made a whole star shape, like when you draw a star with pen and paper, in less than 0.0325 seconds. Like, it was fast, but it was way stuff that would kill a human pilot. That's just crazy. That was like, what the hell? Me and my buddies were like, I was like 10, I was like 7 or 8 at the time, and me and my buddies seen it, and we were like, after we seen it, it tripped us out, So that was one of the first ones that I had. But go ahead.
Right, I bet you probably did because of where you're located. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like they were flying.
It was in the direction that Area 51 would be, where in the sky. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
let me see if like this will like because I have something that maybe tell me if this is close to the green that you saw. Let me switch over. I gotta do something really quick and then I will turn my camera around. I
So,
didn't.
sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'll be able to see it. Well, shoot, I gotta turn all the lights off. Damn. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Let's see, because then I'll be totally dark. Okay. Let's see if I. Oh, where's my? Oh, I didn't. I guess it didn't activate it.
You need to turn
It's
on
the
some
glow
light,
in
you
the
Jen,
dark.
because we can't see shit there.
Oh, well, it's I activated my glow in the dark stand, and it's like a green. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
checking.
I remember you showed me
Oh,
that before. Yeah, that's
okay.
about the right color green. Yeah, that would do it.
I
That's
just
about right.
can't.
Yeah,
It wasn't. I didn't activate it long enough. Okay, for it to be
gotcha.
really bright. So maybe I'll try it
Go ahead,
again.
go ahead and do
So
that, and then show
okay,
our viewers so they can get an idea
okay,
what kind of shade of green
yeah.
it was.
Because what I'll do is I'll light them all. So it won't just be one glass jar. So let me activate it, okay? And then we'll try it, and it could light up this whole room. It's amazing. So, but go ahead. I don't have any other ones at the moment except um like lights being turned on. That I know I didn't turn on. Nobody was here. So just things like that. Um, just I can't explain it. I
No, I know. Like I've had similar stuff. It's like just stuff that doesn't make any sense or doesn't add up. There's no logical explanation for, Like I've had that happen with like I had TVs go off by themselves a couple times. Like okay, after my dad died, like back in 2002, right? We'd have some weird shit happen like that with the TV and a couple of electronics in the house. And my mom always thought it was my dad, like fucking with us, saying, "Hey, I'm still here" or whatever, even though they had split up. It was funny
right.
because my mom was like annoyed one day, but like the TV kept turning itself off. She's like, "Bob, stop it! I'm trying to watch TV."
You
And
never
then it
liked that
stopped, and
channel.
then it would stop, right? But it would happen intermittently for no apparent reason. Like sometimes, and like
Right.
she would just casually say, "Bob, stop it." And it would stop. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, out of nowhere when she was trying to watch something. Anyways, so that was another like brief one. It wasn't too like intense like some of the ones are can be, but that was
Well,
another one that I had.
right. Well, we do get visits from our loved ones. They cross that, into it, and do
Right.
things like, so I mean, that's possible. And he just wanted to get back at her once again about the TV.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've had it's funny
Funny.
that we should even be regarding my dad because like okay, so here's the
Mhm.
strangest thing. My dad died September 22nd, 2002.
Mhm.
Exactly. Numerologically speaking, if you believe
Mhm.
in that sort of thing, that's exactly 1 year and 11 days after 9/11. Okay.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
on top of
Mhm.
that, my dad was a doctor. So he
Uh-huh.
was a family
Mhm.
physician. He had the medical background to give which is why I have the insight and medical knowledge, enough of it to be able to expose these kinds of medical fraud and corruption that's going on with the whole CB19
Uh-huh.
narrative and shit. So like that's where I get a lot of that knowledge and
Mhm.
expertise for my tips, techniques, and survival tips
Right.
when I cover that kind
You
of stuff.
you know where to look at.
That's where my information. Yeah, because I know how to use a lot of these systems, these
Right.
databases and shit. I know how to
Right.
use all that. That's kind of my thing. Not as far as like with the tech wise, no. But there are the
Right.
rest, the common sense stuff, the stuff that that you wouldn't learn like that you would have to
Right.
actually go to school for is the kind of stuff my dad would part of me, like just basic stuff. But yeah, long story short,
Right.
when
Uh,
after my dad passed, I kept having this recurring dream, like every month, that he wasn't dead and that he just faked his death. But he'd come back and he'd be like, "Oh, hey, son, I'm alive. I faked my death." And I'm like,
uh,
"Oh, Dad, cool, right on." And for
and
years and years, let me finish. For years and years, my mom, every time I would tell my mom about these dreams, she would tell me, "Oh, he's communicating with you. He's communicating with you from the other side." It was a very strong belief of hers, and it would make sense because I've had these dreams all the way up until like February of 2015, which, mind you, is when my niece was born. Okay. Now, if you believe in reincarnation, it's very common for souls to reincarnate into other family members. It tends to happen that way. It's always somebody close to you, but you tend to throughout their lifetimes. And So me, it was funny because like at the time that I stopped having this dream, I hadn't talked to my sister yet. But okay, so fast forward like 2 years later, I'm talking to my sister. I'm telling her about that I had these dreams, and then all of a sudden they stopped, right? And she's telling me that, and then she tells me when I'm telling her this that she's had the same experience, that she would always have the same kind of dreams. And my dad coming to her in the dream saying he faked his death, but he's here every month. And it also stopped for her around the same time mine did. Now, mind you, my niece was born in February of 2015. Okay. Now, when she got to be about 3 or 4, there are just certain things that about like her mannerisms and stuff. For me personally, I think that she probably, my dad probably reincarnated in this life into her, and that's not very uncommon from what I'm understanding, and the people in the spiritual communities that believe in reincarnation. But anyways, either way, I thought it was fascinating and interesting that though that would be independent corroboration of the dreams I was having that from my sister, and it stopping at the same time. Um, so yeah, that was interesting in and of itself. But then there's so much that's like stuff that like for as far as my dad goes, like unresolved stuff, resolved stuff, but like just stuff like he's gone too early. He was in the military. During Vietnam, he was stationed in the States in the Army, and he was a chemist, and they had him making Agent Orange. So that was what eventually had given them the acute form of leukemia that eventually killed him in 2002. I did not
Oh
find this
wow.
out. I did not find this out
Wow.
until 2008 from my uncle. From 2002 to 2008, I didn't know what it was that caused it. I knew it was an acute form of leukemia, but I didn't find out for sure what caused it till I spoke with my uncle, and he said, yeah, it was because of the exposure to Agent Orange that he was working with. So, anyways,
Okay,
yeah,
I was just going to ask you a question.
go ahead.
When you woke up, did you really think you? I mean, did you really think you saw your dad? I mean, you probably saw him, but did you really? I mean, were you like, oh, dad? Because sometimes I'll have dreams and
No,
they'll be
no, no, no. These were
oh,
different because they would happen at least once a
oh,
month, almost
okay,
on the dot like clockwork, and it would always be the same theme, same exact theme. It might be a different setting
okay,
sometimes, but it was always the same story.
oh,
It was always he shows up and it's like, "Hey, son, I'm alive. I faked my death," and it always starts out like that, but it's always a
mhm,
different scenario or scene, but it's always consistent in that
okay,
manner. And I find myself
right,
talking to him, kind of conversating, catching up, and in the dream, and
hmm
then tell him, "Man, I missed you, dude. Look, this is what I've been up to lately. Here." And
hmm
usually in the dream, it corresponds to what I'm doing in real life. And then, but so it
huh.
evolves as my, so that's one thing. And then this, similarly, same thing with my sister. But here's what really tipped it off for me. After that, after my niece was born, and I had another dream that at first I thought might have been my dad, but here's the difference, and here's why I know that it wasn't, because in the dream he was mad at me for getting myself locked up, and he would never react like that.
Oh,
He would never react
ah,
like that, and so that's how I was able to know. Because in the dreams that I would have it when he would come visit me, it was always uplifting and never like him being
hmm
bitter or angry. It was always kind of like, "Oh, hey, man, it's been so while. What are you doing lately?" Kind of a feel, not like
right,
judgment kind of a feel. And so for me,
uh,
I always was like, well, that was weird. I couldn't have been my dad because it was just he would never do that like that. That's not who he was,
right.
you know.
Maybe, yeah,
But
that's kind of.
but that dream happened. That last one happened right after my niece, like my niece was born. So, and what was weird about it, I didn't find out until a couple of years later that my sister had similar dreams and stopped at the same time. But for me,
Oh,
my own personal dreams, that was when I knew they stopped because that last dream was not the same as all the rest had been, And so
hmm.
to me, that was that was like the universe's way of saying, "Oh, hey, he's reincarnated. He's not gonna be visiting you anymore because he's not there. He's already in his next life, so to speak." That's for me is how I took that, on a personal level. But anyways, that's a little unexplained, a couple unexplained things. I just I don't, I thought I'd share with our audience and give some background on my dad's my dad's field of expertise a little bit, so people can kind of get an idea of my credentials and my ability
Right.
to provide a lot of the information that I cover, especially in the Friday shows.
Right. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of, I don't think I have any others right now offhand. I mean, just, you know, we, I'd go to, you know, like cemetery, something like that. And I just kind of, say a prayer, things like that. But we did see like a shadow running after us one time, but it was just, I don't know. I think somebody was
Yeah.
teasing us. Yeah. But I don't think so because I could hear footsteps. And oh, I do remember one thing. Um, see, I'm triggering all these memories. Um, let me turn my camera on here. So, um, like I was about 10 or 11, Oh, that's a bad angle of me. Oh gosh. Um, and me and my friends, we walked to McDonald's, and that's when you could buy a cheeseburger. It was like, I don't know, 25 cents or something, right?
Back in the
And
day.
back in the day, I even found a menu, an old McDonald's menu, back when you were like in the day I walked down there. Um, and there was a hospital, a mental hospital called Western State, where they would put, people in there. We walked in there, and I swear I saw like eyes, and I have never told anybody this because I thought, oh God, they'd probably lock me in one of those places. And I never forgot. And it was like, um, it wasn't really bright. You know how sometimes cats' eyes can get really bright, like in light, because it was dark. And we're like, I don't know, 10. And I looked up, and that place is haunted. Um, it's called Western State Hospital. It's in Washington State, and it had some stuff on there that, whew, it was pretty scary. I don't remember any of them, but like what it said. But I know I could read enough that I said, "Wow, they." You know what? My reaction was, they really did bad things here. That's all I said. That's all I remember. Um, it's where they send the people that commit crimes against children. They send them to that facility.
Okay, gotcha.
So, so yeah. So it's
I
pretty.
would imagine that people, a place like that would be pretty haunted.
Oh yeah, yes. And here in Indiana, there's a lot of haunted places. We have the haunted bridge. We have, but I've never really ventured out there. I don't really like to entertain evil, dark stuff, but I know it's around me, and a lot of weird things happen. And like with my phone, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like different things are happening with my phone. It shuts
You
off
mean
by
like you mean
itself.
like the
It
static
mutes itself.
that we're getting now on my end? I hear it go
Yes,
cutting out. You mean
I do
like
too.
that?
Yeah, you guys, we're talking about you, okay, people. I mean, this is real stuff, this is real life stuff. But and here in Indiana, they have a haunted jail. I mean, they go way out for Halloween. I mean, it's crazy. They go out more for Halloween than Christmas. And it actually is it is a jail. It's like I'm trying to think,
Oh
the
wow.
Columbia City Jail. Yeah, they go out the whole neighborhood. They have oh, I think one was Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. They were on the roof. They really, I mean, and the makeup. When I first moved here, we went there for Halloween, and I took my kids, and we walked through this maze. Well, one of the guys with a chainsaw chased after us. I screamed
Oh, you mean
because
like
I'm
the
gonna
haunted
get
house
that.
ones? You mean know one of those?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
those. Those
It
were
was,
always
but
fun.
it's
It's like
but it's
and you're like
right. Oh
running out the
yeah,
end of it.
right. He goes, I'm gonna get you. I was like, no, you're not. But here's the thing though. That is a haunted jail. That's an old jail. So there you go. I mean, we might. There's probably stuff there. But I don't know. It was just they go way out for that
Mm.
stuff. I mean, it's very convincible. He's like, and he starts like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm like, and I go, no, you're not. My girls are like, they're screaming.
Right.
It was pretty scary because it looked real. I mean, it was very convincing. But
Right.
and
Well,
there's
I
all
mean, but
kinds
it
of
was
different
just a haunted. I
haunted
mean,
things.
you know, it was a haunted. You say it was a haunted house, though, right? You're saying, but this happened. Or are you talking about a real
It,
experience?
well, no, it's a real experience. I was there, but
But
I'm
where was
saying
it?
it's a real haunted jail, and in Columbia
Okay,
City, Indiana.
but you
It's a
experienced like an
really
apparition
haunted
coming at
jail.
you with a
So
chainsaw. Is what you're saying?
yes, yeah,
Okay, got you. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Sorry,
I
that was a little bit
misunderstood there for a
confusing.
I misunderstood
Um,
there for a second. I thought you were talking about haunted house, but no. Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. No, that
yeah,
yeah, I would
yeah,
imagine that was
right.
pretty. That would be pretty haunted,
It
especially in
was
that kind of a place with all that trauma going on
right.
in a place like that.
And then I remember seeing, like, it was just almost I saw visions of like prison cells and like girls, it was just, they were really weird, like hanging on. Oh, I don't know how to explain it. Like they were all, the dresses were all like, I mean, just tattered, and they looked really like there was dark circles under that. It just, it was, I couldn't get that image out of my head for like a year. Every time I go to sleep, I could have seen it. Um, so that was, I mean, that was crazy. But
That's intense. If you're saying it for that long after having experienced it, yeah. So,
yeah.
for our viewers, if you haven't already caught on, we're doing a
Mhm.
paranormal story and experience call in line. You can call in and to share your ghost stories, UFO stories, higher consciousness, whatever. Pretty much anything that's that defies logic and is unexplainable that you've experienced in your life that doesn't make any sense and that just doesn't add up, and just weird stuff like that is pretty much game. So you can call in and tell about your ghost story, your synchronicity story, your UFO sighting, anything and everything between that would be considered experiences that just defy logic or explanation in that regard. So call in number is 702-518-2469. We want to hear from our viewers. Tell us a ghost story. We want to hear from you guys. Again, that number is 702-518-2469. Call in and tell your story. We'd love to hear from you guys. So, do you have any other stories? Have you experienced? Why don't you share your NDE briefly with our viewers if you're comfortable doing that?
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, okay. I can do that. Let me get relaxed. I gotta get into the right frame of mind.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, I might not turn my camera on for that one just because,
That's fine. That's
is
fine.
that
That's
okay?
fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
just, that way I don't know, that way, because I might make weird faces trying to like remember the stuff, and um,
I would recommend not being too self conscious about it. You can come on camera if you
okay,
want, but if you're not comfortable, don't worry
okay,
about it.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, not just not right now. I want to get into that zone. Okay, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
want
that's
to do
fine.
it. Okay,
No, you're
so
fine,
like,
dude. But I know our viewers
okay,
would love to hear the story for those who haven't heard it already.
okay, okay. So, and then that way I can close my eyes and I'll be able to envision it. So,
Sounds good.
okay, so I I went to deliver my son. Um, I had to I got a ultrasound, and what do they call them, radiologist tech or whatever that reads it, says that I need to get I need to have imminent delivery because I was losing water, and I had taken my daughters in with me because I wanted them to be, to know that I was having a boy. And so they contacted my OBGYN and said that I needed to drop my kids off and get to the hospital right away. He was like measuring big. I was about, and he wasn't dropping at all. And so I kept telling him, you need to do something because something's going to happen. He's stuck. I don't know. But, I'm going to be delivering a toddler if you don't, please just, I've never had this problem before, and I'm concerned. So, anyways, I get to the hospital, and they try to get me, to walk, and I walked the hallways. I walked and walked and walked. He was not dropping at all. I tried everything. And I thought that imminent delivery meant that they were going to go in and I was going to get prepped and have a cesarean. But they made me, wait. And if I didn't deliver within 24 hours the following day, they were going to go ahead and do it. So they hooked me up to Pitocin, and they hooked me up, they gave me an epidural, and said that I just, needed to I kept moving around, like side to side, trying to see if like gravity would do it. There was no doctors on the delivery floor. It was all residents, and they were taking orders by doctors over the phone. So it was just really unexperienced
Oh
people doing
wow.
it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they weren't
So
even get proper consultation
no,
from a doctor's
no,
experience hands
no.
on by looking at something.
Right.
Kind of like they were
Exactly.
doing
And
during this whole 2 years when they were doing
yes,
telemedicine, which is total
yes,
bullshit. Because there's
yes,
certain things you cannot diagnose
yes,
without doing it hands
yes.
on, pure and
Well,
simple.
and see, yeah,
And
and
so
see,
there's a
here's
lot
the
of fraud going on with that too, as well, folks.
yes,
People need to keep
right.
that in mind. Go
Okay,
ahead.
and so here's the thing, is that you know, most people that have that, they will move the baby, they'll turn them or something, because sometimes they just simply can't come, down because their head's, not going down in the right position, whatever. Well, I tried and I tried and I tried, and I mean, I did everything. Towel, nothing, but they never did anything to change his position. They never called a doctor. They said that there was a doctor on the floor. He was doing rounds, but it was odd because I was the only one on the delivery floor. I had no way of contacting anybody. They had finally it got to the point where they I was trying everything, and the resident doctor, I don't know, I can't remember her name. She came in and she checked me, and and I forgot to add that my water broke. Okay, so my water already completely broke. So she went in with a hook, and their water came out. And they asked me what my pain level, and I said it was a 30, and I should have been completely numb. Um, what had happened is that I they did not the doctor ordered over the phone for them to DC or stop my pitocin. The nurse did not do it because she did not think it was necessary. So I kept going, I was trying, and the fetal heart monitors were going off. It was low, extremely low. He was in distress, and they kept hitting the mute button on it. Okay. And all of a sudden, I'm laying there, and uh, when that hook, when she took that out, um, she had, uh, I had a complete bladder and uterus rupture. I think
Oh, wow.
she broke my hook, or broke my bladder with that hook. So what happened was I was in so much pain. Oh my God. I closed my eyes, and I could hear what they were saying. And it was almost like an echoey sound, like kind of like we were talking into it, like it was an empty room, and it was just kind of like it was yeah, it was like an echoing room. And I I could put things together. And the doctor's like, who put this catheter in? And they were talking about vacations and all this other stuff. And the guy that came in to numb me, the anesthesiologist, said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. Oh, well, I think I was numb at the time. I'm getting kind of a little bit mixed up. But he had said that. He said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. He said, I'll be back. Let me know if you need more. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I have the blue thing over my head. How am I going to let him know? I don't know. I didn't have a way to contact him. So anyways, and I am just crying. I mean, I have never been in so much pain in my entire life. It was the absolute worst thing. I mean, I had surgical utensils, I could see him, flying over. I could see some of my inside, I mean, inside. It was just, I could feel it. I could feel it inside. That was the worst thing in the world. But it came to a point where I finally, it went from dark. I said, I, at the time I prayed to God or whatever, whatever God is. I was praying to the higher power because I knew I was going, and I was like, hey, so I was okay, I guess, okay with that. I didn't have a choice. I couldn't stop it. And all of a sudden I was in a lot of pain. I was cold. It was just, it was awful. I had bad taste in my mouth. Um, and then it was completely black. And then all of a sudden it was bright, and it was warm, and I was going really fast. It was almost like the speed of light. I just zoom. I mean, I zoomed really fast. Um, I don't know. I've never seen anything. I've never experienced anything. Um, it was the best ever. It was so euphoric, and I will never forget. Um, I was kind of sitting at there was a thing. I stopped at something, it was like I don't know how to. It was kind of like a dead end. That's what it felt. That's what it seemed like. And I'm like, okay. And so I was kind of, hanging out. I was kind of, kind of coast or what do they call it? Like bobbing a little bit, just kind of waiting. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't look good, but it was almost like a gate. Okay. And I'm just kind of like chilling out there, like, hey, what's going on? Um, I started seeing these lights come towards me. I don't know what it was, if it was something else.
Uh-huh.
But before I died or whatever, I prayed, like I said, and I told my higher power that to please take me, don't take my son. He's innocent. He's never experienced this. Just take me. And I don't know if I spoke to it. I didn't say, "Oh God, Jesus." I just spoke to it. It was something like it was I don't know. It was really warm. I mean, it was nice. I was like very attracted, to it. I wanted to get closer. And I said, I'll do whatever it takes humanly possible to keep him on this planet. Um, and I made that promise to my creator, the great divine. I just wanted to, you know, not necessarily go back to Earth, but I wanted to. Um, I was good where I was at. um, but then all of a sudden, I did get an answer, and poof, everything opened up. I woke up. I got a really cold hand on my arm. The anesthesiologist says, "Oh, hi, Jennifer. You're gonna wake now. You did great." And I was like, "Why did you wake me up? I was just fine where I was at." And that's when my hell began. It was I don't know. It was just I was completely wrapped up in warm blankets. I lost all my blood. I had to do a complete blood transfusion, and I do remember them saying, "I wonder how much blood it's going to take for her to die." And that was, I mean, that was it. It was. I started asking questions about what happened to him, and they kept saying that, they're going to take care of me. I'm like, that's not good enough. The Grim Reaper that we call him, the chaplain came up and I said, "Ma'am, I haven't even seen a picture of my son. I don't know what he looks like. I didn't hear him when he came out. I want to know what's going on." They wouldn't even show me what he looked like, and it was awful. It was the pain was horrible, and I went through a period where I had white coat syndrome. I couldn't even. The doctors no, nah. I couldn't even stand. I couldn't lay down in that position. Um, I was helpless. But it was the uh, it was a wonderful experience. But unfortunately, my son got the worst of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that he is up in the universe, shining his bright ass light down here at us. He's shining the way for us to get this stuff taken care of, because he was diagnosed with widespread brain damage. And you know what? Him and I communicated. We hummed together. He could feel my vibration. I could tell he was calming down when he would kind of make, he had kind of a little bit of a high pitch, like sometimes. And then we would do the Michael Jackson song, Beat It. And he would be like, he would talk to me. But he found a way to
Just beat it,
communicate.
beat it, beat it,
It was like,
just beat it,
yeah,
beat it.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember
yes.
that one back in the
And the
day.
sound,
I don't think there's anybody from our generation that wasn't a Michael
mm-hmm,
Jackson fan as a kid,
right.
you know?
Okay, right, but that sound had the most like stuff to get to for him to feel it. Um,
Right, right.
and it's just like people think that um people that are that have those kind of injuries sometimes they don't come back or whatever, but our brain can repair itself. Okay, and he actually, I mean, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but I've read that before. But I he knew who I was. He knew who my daughters were. Okay. I would just have to approach him, be really, careful at first. Because like you couldn't just go in there and shake him because he has, problems with tactile stimulation or whatever. And also, if it was too hot, he would have seizures. But you know what? He was not expected to live, and I
Right.
don't think I was. But you know what? He he was not. He had a trach, he had a G tube, and everybody's like, he's gonna get ventilator pneumonia. For 4 years, he was not sick at all, not at all, and he grew height,
Hmm.
weight, like a proportion. Sometimes kids with that, their brain doesn't grow. I had the neurologist have to do a second opinion to do EKG. Because he's like, Jennifer, I just never seen this before in my life. He's like, you have taken such great care of your son. Well, everything changed when he was removed from my care, and he actually lived long after that. I mean, usually because they don't get the best care in those facilities. So usually it doesn't take him too long. But he is a warrior. He is my warrior. He is a tough mofo. He he is he would have turned 11 on the July 10th, and I miss him so much. And he taught me so much how not to take things for granted. He taught me there's different ways to communicate. And guess what? I was able to be reborn with my intuition, and I got to experience that death experience. And that was the best thing. But unfortunately,
Hmm.
a bad result for him. But it's
The way you got to
it's
look at it is how can you use your experience as a lesson to better serve the greater good, and and for make it so that your son's death was not in vain, and that there's a purpose, and there is a purpose. You've already demonstrated that. You said for the connection you
yeah,
just told us. So like,
right.
I always try to look at things, like as painful as things might be. I always try to look at the silver lining and look at it from the best possible aspect that I'm able to. And like, so for example,
Right.
one of the things that I don't regret is the experiences I went through growing, as up until now, is
I have
because
one more thing to
they
that.
no, you're fine. I just want to just really put this out there.
Okay.
Is it because I have any regrets, because I wouldn't be the man that I am today without like, going through what I went through. So that's all I wanted to say. But go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't done here. I had a mission. It was to help wake up humanity. It was to help. I know I had something. I didn't know exactly what, because my only purpose I thought was for my children. But this tragedy awakened me. I mean, I was in a head-on car accident before, and I survived. But I was knocked out for, like, I don't know how long. But that was not, I didn't see anything. I woke up in an ambulance, strapped down, asking for my kids, about my kids in chronological order from the oldest down. So, but I still don't know where that time went. And that was scary. The scary thing where you just, and things went in slow motion. It was like, and I went on one tire and I spun and I fell down. Um, but I was the only one hurt. Um, so yeah, so I mean, that was just, I was surprised I survived that, but this other one, yeah, that was something else. Um, but yeah, so um, I don't know. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the better good of humanity. I always told when I was young, I want to make the world a better place. I want to be there for people. I want to help kids. I want to
Right.
help people. I
I've always had that mission sense too, growing up. Like I was here for a purpose, like since earliest
yeah,
memory I can remember. Like I've always had this mission sense that I'm here to help humanity evolve. And I've even spoken. It's funny because like I always would, the way I worded it in my mind a lot of the time growing up was, I was sent back to right a terrible wrong, for example. It's one of the ways that I would that it would be worded when I would think about it as a kid. And then I've even said that to people before, in my personal
say
life.
that
Like
again.
when I
I didn't
said,
catch it.
okay, so one of the ways that when I would think about my mission sense of what, like, how I felt and what I was here to do in my mind, the way it would always be, I would always hear it audibly, the way it would be worded would, I was sent here to help humanity evolve and to right a terrible wrong.
Wow.
And now here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. That's very common among star seeds. Now, that being said, that's the way it's always, I've always heard it in my head when I would think about it. And now I verbalize that to family members, growing up, and people that I trust, over the years. But what's really the
Mhm.
real kicker on this is I've heard others in the contactee community, supposedly, like Alex Collier and several others, say the same thing, which really resonated with me, like, because I'm familiar, like, that was what kind of like what I would say.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go too much into the, so to speak. If you don't know who Alex Collier is, I recommend you check him out. But there's a lot of synchronicities that I'm having, and a lot of people in my personal life are having, that are activating us as star seeds right now. Like, which is part of the reason that I'm doing the work that I'm doing right here, with the news for us, because this is what I was put on this earth to do, and that's the way I see it. I had that intuitive knowing, so to speak. Anyways, I thought that was a nice little tie-in that you would appreciate as a fellow
Right.
starseed. But go ahead and continue your story.
And also another thing too is that starseeds usually have traumatic experiences to activate who they are. Um,
Yes, yes.
it just I don't know of anybody that has. I mean, it just um,
For me,
I don't.
it was happening. What happened to my mom is really that, and then but
Yeah.
also that documentary I discovered, like, right before that happened, also was a big
Mhm.
one. It was such a powerful, moving documentary for me, because at the end the whole message was one of hope, and what we could become, and then how it quoted the Hope the Elders prophecy. I that really resonated with me too, not just
Mhm.
on the wording level, but as a star seed. I think that's what they were talking about in that.
Mhm. Well, I've always felt like I didn't belong here. I always like looking at like I always like colors and stuff, and
Right.
I like looking at the moon, and I know
I've
I
always
would
felt
go
like I came like that. Like, why am I here? What, this is like a ass
right,
backwards society. Why the fuck am I here in this
right,
freaking ass backwards fucking
right,
place? And then, so, like, I've
yeah,
always felt like I don't belong. Like I went, like, I always felt like,
mhm,
why am I here? I've already dealt with all this and fucking moved past all this. Like, at least as far
right,
as my soul sense goes. So for me, it's like, I'm
right,
like, what the fuck? Like, these are ass backwards freaking people, man. But, like,
right.
so it's not an easy mission to opt
No,
for on that, and on the soul level, because it is a tough job, because you have
well,
to,
and
like, lower, you have to come back into a lower
right,
density, where you have to
yes,
have to
yes,
you're here, we've already done this, like, so,
right,
us stars, we've already been done this and evolved, and then
mhm,
apparently we come back and we do this on all sorts of different places all throughout the galaxy to help civilizations, and,
right,
find their power and evolve and ascend. But this is kind of like what we do. So this is
right.
not our first time around the block, but maybe
Uh,
some that are here that we're helping to wake up and help to evolve. But that's kind of
right.
like how I've that's how it's resonated with me, growing up, and what I've been able to learn about it, and just from my own intuition and from what I've read.
I just I didn't feel like those were my parents. I kept asking I was like,
Same
"Are you
here.
guys sure? Are you
Same
guys
here.
sure?" But it's really kind of interesting now that you're seeing all the stuff. You're triggering some of my thoughts here. Was that I'm just like my grandmother, okay? And I do not. I looked up to her so much, and I still do. And I mean, she still is there. I mean, I didn't see her that often, but that bond was so strong that I would love, sometimes. Well, I heard the eulogy that my uncle wrote about her. It was like I was reading it to somebody, and I was there. I was there. I was her there, and at that moment, it was so amazing. And I think that's maybe why my mom treated me the way that she
Hmm.
did, because she knew that connection and she was trying to break it. Um, she spoke very bad about my grandmother, and I was that. I think I don't know. I'm part of that, and I I can relate and I connect better with on my paternal side. Um, and it's there's a connection. I mean, the sense of humor, as I mean, our personality. They're from Canada, so they say
Hmm.
"a,"
Hey,
and they
about
go, hey, they go,
we're going to go to
uh,
the market
oh, they,
and
oh, they,
talk about getting
oh
some
yeah,
chickens.
oh yeah. No, that's in
Sorry,
UK.
I love,
Yes, UK.
I know, I mixed the two together, and I was just trying,
In Canada.
I was just giving a hard time to our Canadian brothers and
Oh
sisters. We
yeah.
love you guys, though,
Well,
we really do.
hey,
I do impressions of
I am just
everybody, so it's all
American.
in good fun, folks. We're not like really trolling anybody. We're just all in good fun. I
Mhm.
love you guys. I love my my
Uh,
Canadian brothers and sisters, and I love all my Australian brothers and sisters down under too as well. So we're not oblivious to the tyranny you're facing or had been facing, but
right.
we know that there's good news that's already
Yep.
come your way. So we're rooting for all you guys. Canada, we're still rooting for you. Just hang tight. We're
Yes,
working
my
on it.
fam's there. My
Hang tight,
uncles, my
Canada.
aunts.
You're gonna it's not gonna be much longer, I don't think. You're because it's it's already happened here in the States pretty much.
Right.
There's been a lot of repeals of the mandates
Um,
and stuff. The Australia recently came out, went that way. Australia, from what I hear, Canada's still like trying to clamp down, but
right.
hold tight, hold fast, you guys, hold the line, do not comply, and just know that help is on the way.
Well, and you know what? I identify myself as a American because I'm more
Hmm.
Canadian than American. And it's just it's a strong connection. So, we're all really we're the same. It doesn't matter. We're all
Right.
connected. It doesn't matter where
It
you're
doesn't matter
located.
where we're from because
No,
ultimately
no,
we're all part of the human family, and that's the way I look
yeah.
at it.
So I mean,
There's two
I
classes of people.
mean,
There's the
yeah.
elites of the world, which are
Mm-hmm,
you could consider globalists,
mm-hmm,
and any other
uh-huh,
people that are in any other country that are part of the power structure that think they're better than the rest. And then you have the people, working class, the masses. The one that we outnumber them more than 100 to 1,
yes.
folks. All it would take is enough of us to wake up and say, no, we're
Mm-hmm,
not going to stand for this.
yep.
And they would fold. And we're witnessing now with the collapse of the economy, with the food shortages, the the supply and demand shortages, and everything else is we're seeing the collapse of an old system that is has been long overdue in needing that collapse because it's ultimately not a fair system because it's based on debt. So what we're
Right.
witnessing is the collapse of that, and there all are new systems coming into play. But here's what people need to understand: is they're not going to advertise it or just put it out there. It's going to be out there, but they're not going to talk about it. They're going to put it out there and just kind of not say anything. Like kind of how we've seen with some of the NASA live the International Space Station live feed of the UFO fleet that happened, how they didn't really say anything. It's there for everybody to examine, but they didn't say one way or the other what it is. That's kind of how they operate
Right.
when they do disclose stuff
Yeah.
because
Yes.
they have to walk the line, so they kind of leave it there for you to decide for yourself. And it's
Right.
the same with a lot of the Mars images. So there's a lot of weird structures in there that
Mhm.
justify explanation as being that don't make any sense if they were natural. And so, but they have those there. There's tons of them, but they don't ever comment on them. They just leave them there for you to see. So like
Right.
that's a lot of the same kind of you have to look, you have to know where to look, folks. So like the white hats aren't going to freaking spell it out for everybody just because everybody wants to know. No, it's not how it works. You have to have something called
Right.
operational security. You don't ever want your enemy to know what your next move is going to be. So you have to play your cards close to the vest, which means you put
Yeah.
out disinformation of sorts in the public domain, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
with the intent to mislead the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
And
specifically done.
right.
Does not
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
that we're trying to
Right.
put that out there to the masses and make them believe it, but there is a reason for it. So that's why one of the reasons we always encourage using discernment and critical thinking skills.
Right.
If it resonates with you,
Yep.
hold on to it and
Go
use
with
it.
it.
Use that information.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, don't worry about it and drop it. If
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yep.
resonate, don't worry about it. Don't feed into it.
Then
That's
it's
kind
not
of
for
like the golden
you.
rule.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Um,
Well,
we're gonna
we've had like a good solid hour and
yeah.
4 minutes. I'm thinking we should do maybe just a little bit longer, maybe another 25 minutes to give anybody that might want to call in a
Okay.
chance to do so, and then we'll wrap it up. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Well, how about do you want to try that meditation thing that I sent you? You want to just
Yeah,
kind of chill it
yeah,
out? And
the one that
yeah.
is the Zoom chat. We'll play that instead,
Yes.
maybe. All right, we can do that.
Yeah, well, like we could play that the I think it's the very last one, the Tesla one. You and the screen we will go. Actually, it'll show us going into the unit. It will. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, I can't wait. So I think that would be a good closure. But yeah, that's yeah. I like this stuff. This is great. Oh, and one more thing that I comment on what you said. I call them one-dimensional people. They talk, small talk or whether once you start getting a little bit deeper, they don't
Hmm.
go deeper,
Right.
I call them
Well,
one-dimensional.
well. I wouldn't say one dimension because when I say one dimension, I think, well, no, maybe you're right, one dimension. Well, like as far as
Oh,
like as using a metaphor, you mean like one dimensional
yeah,
conversation?
yes,
Yeah. No.
yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yes,
I got what you're
yes,
saying.
metaphor.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that would be this
So
meditation.
which one you wanted to play?
It's
The
great.
Tesla one?
Yes, yes, yes,
It's
yes,
like an
yes.
hour long. I mean, we just
Well,
gonna do
not
part of
all of
it.
it. We can
Which
just do
part do you
some of
want to
it.
play? Just a little
Just
bit of
just
it?
play
Okay.
it from the very beginning. Just
Okay.
just see where it goes. I mean, we don't have to play
Sounds
all of
good.
it,
We'll do. And
but
then we're gonna wait for another 25 minutes, folks, for our viewers to give them a chance to call in and tell their story if they'd like. So we'll be playing that meditation that it's called 432 hertz Tesla guided meditation, rate straight to your subconscious mind journey through space. So we're gonna just play that in the interim, give people an opportunity to call in and tell their stories, and then we'll go from there and probably wrap it up at the in
right.
another 25 minutes or so, folks. And then what we'll do is we'll do this every last Wednesday of the month. We'll do a call in kind of deal for our Fringe Division podcast later in the evening, like 9 o'clock Pacific Standard, 11 Central, and then midnight Eastern. So that will be the lineup for the last Wednesday of the month for either Fringe Division podcast. The other three will be your standard 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the afternoon. And so that's going to be our lineup. I decided for our Fringe Division. I wanted to do a special call in one at least once a month for our viewers to call in and participate and tell their stories. All right. So let me share my screen so we
One
can see
more,
this.
just
Go ahead.
one more thing. I will look into what my near death experience, what it represented. So I'll have that next time.
Sweet. So you mean symbolically
Yes.
speaking what it means?
Yes. Well, I
Awesome.
did what it means, like the tunnel and all that stuff, because there is a meaning to that. So
Oh, cool. Awesome. I think our viewers
yeah,
will appreciate that.
yes, it's pretty interesting. But okay, so yes, this will open up our subconscious mind. This is great. So
Hi, this is Dare to Do Motivation. Welcome to our journey through space. In this 1-hour affirmation video, we will guide you through your subconscious mind and open the portal to other dimensions. You won't need any drugs or substances to get into that state. Just make yourself comfortable and enjoy the ride. You can do it with your eyes open, looking to the screen and gliding through it, or do it with your eyes closed and let your mind take you to places you never knew existed. This video will be streamed at 528 Hz, the Tesla wave function. That means that the spoken words will go right into your brain and subconscious, and they will make your inner self able to travel so far away, which wouldn't be possible in any other way. So sit back, lie down, relax, make yourself comfortable. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Are you lying down already or sitting comfortably? Let go of the tensions. Open up the buttons of your shirt or your belt. Feel really comfortable. Make sure it is quiet where you are and that you can relax. Feel how your body falls deep into the seat or bed you're lying in right now. Breathe in, breathe out. With every breath you take, you breathe in love, comfortability, pleasure, nice thoughts, and you breathe out fear and tension and negativity. Breathe in beautiful thoughts, beautiful dreams, love, compassion, and breathe out negativity, hate, tension, and anger. You are in a calm state of mind right now. I just want you to concentrate on your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Don't let your mind wander around just yet. Sit back and watch your breath do the work. Explore your breath. Feel how your limbs, your arms, your legs start getting looser and looser. How your back is nice and relaxed. How your neck is long and without tension. You can feel your body right now. You can feel the blood in your veins. You can feel your life, the living, vivid power that you are. You can feel yourself deeply and profound. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly, your mind will start leaving your body. It will start to elevate into new realms of reality and universe power. These dimensions on Earth won't have any meaning soon. Your subconscious, as a gateway to space, will head you right through the universe. Breathe in, breathe out. Your body is still and comfortable. Your breath is slow and deep. You have shattered all your negative thinking out of your head. Slowly, you are prepared to go onto this journey. I will now affirmate you to your journey into space. These affirmations will help your subconscious to let go and to truly float into this meditation. Your body will be here on Earth, but your mind and subconscious are out there in the deep, wide universe. But don't be afraid. You will be safe throughout all this journey. Just enjoy the ride. You are an amazing human being. You are full of love, patience, and trust. You are loving. You are caring. You are made for great things in your life. You are free. You are not afraid to speak and think your mind. Nobody has power over you besides yourself. Your heart is strong and willing to take action if necessary. Your mind is deep, loving, and controlled. You are honest. You are giving. You are forgiving. You are healthy in spirit and body. You eat healthy. You drink healthy. You enjoy nature. You are a child of this earth. You are watching over Mother Earth. Your body belongs to this earth, to this world, but your mind, your soul, your subconscious has always and will always belong to the universe. Your mind belongs to the wide, vast universe and space. You break light so time does not exist. Your subconscious is truly a miracle creation that will forever be around in every corner of the universe. So let go for this meditation of your earthly body and follow your subconscious to wherever you want it to go. Your spirit is your free gateway to every corners of space. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You are beautiful. You are full of fantasy and creation power. You are wise. You are filled with ideas. Money is so easy to obtain for you. It is only a toy of this world. It is nothing of importance out there in your soul universe. You are so much bigger than all of your problems here on earth. You are so much more amazing than people think you are here back on earth. You are the full grasping knowledge of space. You are love, health, vitality. You are a part of this circle of life and beyond. You are a beautiful human being. Your spirit is free and daring and able to go wherever it wants to go. Now let go of your body and float into space. Space-time has no meaning here. Within seconds, you can traverse into every corner of the universe. You are going through a different gateway. You are a free spirit in the universe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I want you to visualize the planet you are flying to, the world you are flying to. It is your natural world. It is the place where your subconscious truly and secretly wants you to go. It wants you to go back home to one of the planets where you have lived before and where you had enjoyed the most beautiful life. You can go and visit your brotherly spirits of past times, embedded so deeply into your subconscious that only it knows where to fly right now. You are a part of your subconscious, and your subconscious is a part of you. So let it lead you and guide you to that world that you truly want to go. You fly and you fly. Breathe in, breathe out. We are gliding through space right now. We are free. We are beautiful souls on our journey. You are just a part of love, an endless stream of light and happiness. You have now left your shell, your outer body, and your spirit is free to roam around space. Along your way, you will see a lot of like-minded spirits as yours. Words have no meanings here. Feelings are your turn of direction. And you glide around this beam of consciousness, light, subconscious, living, love, vivid dreams of the past, coming alive right now. The moment you were born, you had left this place, but for this meditation you are back. Streams of light and warmth, that is you, that is who you are. A gliding force through the universe, subconscious, a part of the whole. Nothingness doesn't exist here. You are a constant traveler. Follow your dreams. Follow your subconscious. The possibilities here are endless. You look up and you look down. You look to your left. You look to your right. Endless love and endless light is streaming within you, and you within it. This universe is filled with your subconscious, and your subconscious is filled with this universe. We are so far away from home right now, floating through space. 10 seconds in this world is like 100 years on the earth. But it is just a meditation. Don't be afraid. It is just a snippet of what your soul and spirit is all about. So fly through space. Fly to whichever planet you want to whichever star you would like to go. Your wish is your command. Your subconscious is here to take you wherever you want to go. It is here that you finally understand who you are. Finally understand where you came from. Finally understand what is right. What is love? What is endless opportunities? What is a journey where earthly limits don't exist? Your subconscious is hero and villain at the same time. You decide make it hero. You are flying through space like a comet, taking directions and turns, splashing into planets at one moment only to observe and scream out in the next to continue your journey. Imagine colors, lights, forms, objects that you have never seen before. Imagine something you have never imagined before, without circles, without lines, without known colors. Imagine the unimaginable, through space, through your subconscious. You just have to want it. This is your escape from Earth. This is your chance to truly understand life and to lose all your fear. When you are back, you will be able to do whatever you want. You will be able to live all your dreams right on Earth. Because now you understand that this Earth is just a tiny, small part of your subconscious, and that you can achieve anything you want, live the life you want, open your spheres of love, and live the love you want. Be boundless, be merciful, be a beautiful being, never afraid to express yourself. You are a stream of light.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Let's do our little outro. It'll be about 3 minutes to wrap it up. So thank you for everybody for joining our last Wednesday of the month episode where we do call in for and we tell our paranormal stories, ghost stories, whatever, pretty much anything unexplained that defies any reason or logic that we had experience in our personal lives. And we're going to do that every last Wednesday of the month for our Fringe Division episodes. Will be later in the evening than our usual 2:00 p.m. on those Wednesdays. Just kind of like will have that late night feel to it, since we'll all be sharing stories. Every other Wednesday of our Fringe Division podcast will be our standard 2 p.m. time, of course, Pacific Standard, 4 p.m. Central, and 5 Eastern. But on the last Wednesday of the month, it will be 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Central, and midnight Eastern Time. So that's what we got coming for you, everybody, in the future. And then don't forget to subscribe to all our pages. Like our pages, but follow as well, so you can get notifications for our lives on Facebook. Check out our Rumble, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe to those. YouTube, Telegram as well. And don't forget to check out the Bonfire store, bonfire.com/fu-family-court. Get yourself a great the Box podcast mug, which is going to be premiering in the near future. That's Dottie's little baby right there. And then all the other merchandise we got here. We got a bunch of different shirts, all sorts of branded stuff for our podcast that has been put together by Dottie for us. So support our CPS and family court corruption victims and make a purchase. All the funds go directly to the CPS and family court corruption victims. We do not profit from this at all. Therefore, everything is covered under fair use. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Wasn't
Go ahead,
that
Jen.
beautiful? Wasn't
That
that
was
beautiful?
That was. It was great.
I started going. I think I saw, but it was just amazing. Oh, I love it.
It was
Okay.
great.
So
great show, everybody. We're gonna do this the
Mhm.
last Wednesday of every month, where we do the call in line. Every other all the the Wednesdays before that will be our regular time. But yes, that was what we're gonna do from now on. So thank you for everybody for joining us and checking out our show. We will be doing this once a month with the call in line, and then the other days of Wednesday we'll be doing our regular Fringe Division podcast. Don't forget to check out our tips, techniques, and survival traits on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sundays, check out our Sacred Lavisa podcast, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. So, and that's where we cover the CPS and family court corruption issue. Good night, everybody. Great show.
Good night.